Hey, everybody. My name is Elon Srilovich, and this is the Worthy Man Podcast. It's a new podcast about everything going on in the world that's entirely messed up. So stay tuned. I got three crazy stories today, and it's about to pop off.
Worthy Man Podcast. Worthy Man Podcast Show.
All right, so here we go. The first story I have here is just straight up disturbing. I almost don't want to comment on it, but when you watch it, you're going to understand. And it kind of captures everything that I find wrong in modern day far leftist progressive ideology, especially when it comes to children. So I'm just going to start playing this video and I'm going to give my thoughts on it. So stay tuned. Give me a second here to pull it up. And here we go.
Tell me why you're at Pride.
Because I'm transgender.
Do you want to share anything about your journey?
It was very tough.
Does your family make you feel supported?
Yes, a lot.
How old are you?
I am 7.
And how old were you when you discovered your identity?
I was 2 or 3 when I first noticed.
Okay, so in case you're just listening to this and not watching it, it's this young boy who has transitioned at the age of 7 to be a female, wearing a rainbow colored dress and pink shirt with super long hair and like a little rainbow painting on their face, being interviewed by what looks to be 50-year-old guy dressed in a Bud Light alcoholic beverage costume. It's just disturbing all the way through. And it kind of captures, again, the problem with modern day leftist ideology, especially when it comes to the trans movement. By the way, in my humble opinion, this hurts trans people. This does not help the trans movement. Every time something like this happens, people go, why are you doing this to children? Most people don't have a problem when it's an adult who wants to transition, but when there's a 7-year-old who says by the age of 2 or 3, I knew that I was not in the right body. I'm sorry, there's some degree of social engineering here. And I bet you, beyond anything, I'm willing to make this bet right now, and you can take it if you want in the comments section, that the mother or father of this child have purple hair and are overweight. That's just how it works. That's what always happens. So and I guarantee you there's some hyper-progressive leftists who had a white male-privileged demon toxic masculinity baby that they hated and needed to find a way to convert them into this so that they would get points and destroy some of their privilege, even subconsciously. I really believe that's what's happened here, and this poor child is the victim of that mentality.
That I didn't feel comfortable with being a boy.
How did your child discover this identity? How did this
Is this a church? What is happening?
come about?
So ever since she was little, she was always the princess. Always. She sort of
Overweight. I was correct. And do you spot purple hair? Because I believe I do. I don't know what the helmet's about. They're scared of getting hurt walking down the street.
every once in a while would mention ideas of like wanting to be a girl, of feeling more like a girl. And then hi, kitty pie. She started asking to like socially transition about 1.5 years ago, and her school's been fantastic.
Your family, your friends, everyone like makes you feel supported and loved.
Except for my friends. I didn't tell them that yet.
Oh, wait, do you want to be on the internet talking about it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope to be famous one day.
What do you
I mean, number one, this dude's a creep, but that's besides the point. This child's entire identity is revolving around this trans ideology. This is where this kid derives all value in life. They were told you're special because you're trans. And oh my God, you're a victim now because you're trans. And this is also where the mother clearly gets value from too. So this is the product of disturbing ideologies, untruths, direct, objectively untrue things taking hold in society.
want to be famous for?
Probably my songs or like famous drawings.
It wasn't even really a change. Like she's been expressing herself as a girl since she was old enough to get dressed. I think that being the parent of a trans child is totally different than what people think that it is. And I know you hear a lot about how we're going to have our kids go into surgery and how we're forcing them to make these decisions. The opposite is true. You know, I'm up all the time worrying about how the world is going to react to my kid. I would rather have her change her pronouns 1,000 times than have to write her obituary.
There it is. There it is. Exactly what I said previously. You know, that's exactly the whole reason behind all this. You're a victim. Your child is now special. They're no longer a toxic white male, cis white male, evil, toxic cis white. By the way, I'm Iraqi. So if the whole argument here is you're a white male, no, I'm an Iraqi. My mom escaped Iraq. I have no stake in the game. I think this entire thing is idiotic.
I wish that people who have already decided that they hate us and that we're child abusers would actually talk to us. I feel like that would make such a big difference. But you're right.
So people do want to talk to you. People want to have conversations about this. I've tried. I've tried to have conversations about this. I'm immediately accused of being a transphobe. By the way, if you cannot define what a woman is and you accuse people of being transphobic for asking that question, you don't actually want to talk to people. Again, this hurts the trans movement. I believe there are a lot of adults out there, not a lot, a small subsect of the population, which has been consistent throughout all of history, who have gender dysphoria. And I don't think they agree with all of this. I don't think they agree with giving 7-year-old kids medication and starting to transition them by the age of 10 years old by chemically altering their bodies. I don't think a lot of trans people are actually okay with that. I don't know the stats. I hope not. But either way, this hurts transgender people who suffer from gender dysphoria. The interesting thing here is this is an entirely new subsect of that category, because these people do not actually suffer from gender dysphoria that you're seeing now. They suffer from identity issues. They suffer from feeling like they have no value in the world. Because what we've done in society is we've taken away the idea of God. So you're not inherently special just by nature of existing. You don't have a soul. There's no such thing as absolute truth anymore, because we've gotten away with that too. That's done. So objective absolute truth no longer exists. So what's left? You seeking things in the material world, these material identities that you have to grasp onto so hard, because that's the only place you can derive value from. You have nothing else to believe in. You're totally nihilistic by nature. And it's why I believe there's a binary here. Absolute truth is under attack. And there's no such thing as just a little bit of absolute truth. You either believe that some things are absolutely true, or you believe that nothing is absolutely true. There is no middle ground. There is no such thing as absolute truth, then nothing is absolutely true, which is why we see exactly what's happening here to this poor 7-year-old child.
Like, the assumptions that people are making are the worst kinds of assumptions, and nobody wants to hear, what our truth is. What it's like to actually raise a transgender child is just so remarkably different than what I would have experienced or thought.
What do you say?
I'm done with this video. Okay, again, this is literally an idea. It's a religious ideology now. It's a fundamentalist religious ideology, and there's a reason why they're going after children. Why do kids? This is something that drives me crazy. Why is the conversation around kids at drag shows? Right? Like, why is that the thing? Like, why kids? Why is it always the children? Why is it a 7-year-old who apparently at 2 years old, due to social engineering from her environment and her parents, transitioning? Why are they going after children? And by the way, the first thing you would attack if you wanted to attack absolute truth is the binary of biological sex, to the point where we've become a society that allows biological men with a history of raping women to go into prison with women. That is a society that has lost its mind. That is happening. It's happened in the UK. It's happened here in America. It's happened in Canada, to the point of women being impregnated. We allow biological men into shelters for abused women because they identify as females. That is a society, again, that has no grasp of reality and is allowing women to pay the price for it. And now children too, because we're going to start chemically and physically mutilating children at the age of 10, 11, 12. So it's very, very scary. It actually comes into the next story I wanted to cover here. And interestingly enough, the thing that I never imagined is that the transgender movement, I can understand biological men winning in sports. There's a biological advantage there. So that makes sense to me. Am I okay with it? No, but I understand why men are winning and why guys who sucked in their original male category are saying, okay, well, now I'm trans and I'm going to go win in the female category. Is it gross? Yeah, it's taking advantage, but it makes sense to me. What doesn't make sense to me is this next story. How are transgender people, biological men who transition to women, winning beauty pageants? They're now winning the one thing that I thought they wouldn't be able to take away from women, which is beauty. It's like the category that I thought women really did have the advantage, but apparently not. So let me pull up this story here. And what's most fascinating about this, by the way, is that Miss Universe is now owned by a CEO who is transgender themselves and is a transgender activist. So Miss Netherlands was just crowned a trans woman, Ricky Valeri Cole, as the winner. That's what just happened. So that's apparently the most beautiful woman in Netherlands, a transgender biological male who identifies as a woman. And the funniest thing here, or saddest perhaps, is you see this picture. All these women are standing around cheering this on. Deep down, they're dead inside. Like, they've worked hard their whole lives. Pageants are not easy. I might not be a fan of pageants, but these women go through a lot. These women are having to stand around and cheer this on because they know if they criticize it or if they frown for even a minute, they will be ostracized and destroyed. They will be considered villains of the modern day religious ideology that is the trans movement and be attacked for it. They'll become outcasts in society. So they literally have to cheer on an opportunity being taken away from them in a beauty pageant. So again, this is endemic of what's taking place in society. And it's very, very sad. It's even more sad again to see so many women complicit in it, because just 5 years ago, I remember feminism was a big thing. And today, feminism, we can no longer define what a woman is. I mean, I just saw a article saying that we should no longer call vaginas. We should call them bonus holes or front holes. We don't have mothers anymore. We have birthing people. We are literally, if you think about it, doing away with everything that a woman is. We're doing away with motherhood, with pregnancy, with vagina. So everything you ladies fought for your whole lives, it's gone. And most of us, just out of fear of consequence, are sitting here quietly. And I want to tie this back into what we saw previously with the children, because I believe that if a body washed up on a beach, the first thing we would know about it right away is its biological sex. That's, see, a penis or a vagina, and I would know. I hope I would know. But the things I wouldn't know 100% are the race and the age. Age, that's a big one. Because if we're doing away with the most obvious thing right away, a binary, a natural binary, then age is far more subjective. Age is far harder to identify. Some people mature faster than other people. So I believe that the next step in identity that we're going to see under attack is age. And we're going to see a bunch of 50-year-old pedos trying to get with little kids saying, well, I'm an 11-year-old. Well, I'm a 12-year-old. It's not far-fetched to believe. I used to think like all that stuff was a conspiracy theory. But if we can literally put men in prison with women who have a history of abusing women, why is it so hard to believe that that's the next step? It's a far more subjective identity. We're literally doing away with biological sex. Man, I wanted this video to be funny and charming, and I'm just here ranting angry. All right, well, this next article is legitimately funny. Oh, here's something funny. I'm going to pull this up because I think this is relevant. So it's a picture side by side of the person who won, the transgender person, and the runner-up. Person who won is on the left. Runner-up is on the right. The transgender person is on the left. The biological woman is on the right. This is no longer the face of beauty in the country. This person on the left is. All right. Well, that's that. There we are. But this next story, kind of whole other topic. I don't know if you've been following this Jonah Hill kind of hoopla that's been taking place with his ex-girlfriend from 4 years ago. She's releasing all these text messages. She's empowered now. And again, this ties into your need to be a victim, to have any form of identity. And so she is reaching, I think, by any standard. I think regardless of where you sit politically, actually, she's getting a lot of support. I even saw a psychologist commenting, saying that the boundaries he was setting are not healthy, and that boundaries can be dangerous and used as a tactic for control. Now, if you don't know what happened, she released text messages with Jonah Hill where he had discussed boundaries that made him uncomfortable in the relationship that he felt she was crossing, and he said what they were. Interestingly enough, my view on this is there's no such thing as unhealthy boundaries. In other words, if you have a boundary and you express it and you give the other person the chance to either say, hey, okay, I agree with it, or I don't. And if I don't, I'm going to move on, and you support them with that decision, you're a healthy, mature adult, right? Regardless of what that is, regardless of what weird fetish you're into, you could be into that. And as long as you're honest about it, transparent about it, and the other person's okay with it, it's okay. And if you're not okay with their weird fetish and you communicate you're not okay with that weird fetish, and then they say, I don't want to be with you anymore, then that's okay too. That's how mature adults have relationships. I wish that I communicated like that in all my relationships, because I didn't necessarily. And Jonah Hill here, who in my opinion is a loser, I'm not a fan of Jonah Hill, acted with utmost maturity for his girlfriend at the time, and he's under attack. So I'm stuck. I am stuck defending Jonah Hill. This is how far we've gone, ladies and gentlemen. I am defending Jonah Hill, something I never thought I would do. So that clacking, by the way, is my dog being very annoying and walking around the house right now. So here we go. Let's just look at the transcript of Jonah Hill and the conversation that took place, because she believes, by the way, that she is such a victim. This is what she states. She says, I'm such a victim that I had to release this information because it was destroying me emotionally. I couldn't keep it locked away. That's how serious this is. In fact, to her, it is so serious that in the transcripts on her Instagram and everything, she writes that she wanted to make this clear to his wife or his girlfriend, who he just had a baby with. She waited for her to have the baby because despite it being his child, it's that woman's infant. And she should be in a position, educated enough, and to know what kind of man he is, to be able to take care of herself and her child. That is, to make that statement to someone who just had a newly born child and to release this to the world about an A-list celebrity, you're acting like this person is a rapist, an abuser. He's an extremely toxic individual. To make that statement that I wanted this new baby and her mother to be able to make an educated decision implies that this person is a monster. Let's see what makes Jonah Hill a monster. Let's just see what he said that is so terrible. Okay, so let me just pull it up right here. This is his boundaries. Plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past, beyond going to lunch. I just lost it. I scrolled down. My dog knocked my arm. Beyond going and getting lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership, my boundaries with you based on the way these actions have hurt our trust. Okay, so there's some things here that, to me, like right off the bat, seemed a little bit extreme. Like you're dating a surfer chick and you don't want her to go surf. But in the context of what he's saying, he always follows up with the thing that she actually did. I don't want you going surfing and having inappropriate relationships with men. I don't want you posting pictures in a bathing suit. I don't want you posting sexual pictures. He always follows with the following thing that she's clearly been doing. So the first thing is a preface. You're posting pictures in a bathing suit sexually. You're going surfing with guys, and then you're having inappropriate relationships with them. You're going out with these girls who you used to drink and party with and act like a hoe with. And you're still doing that same stuff. I just want you to go for lunch with them. These are not completely unreasonable things. Now, maybe to her they are, and that's fine. He told her, if you don't like it, move on, and I'll move on. And that's the way to do things. But no, in modern day society, this makes her an ultimate victim. And that's, again, it ties back to exactly what we saw previously that I showed, because this is her entire identity. It's no coincidence that she's doing this. She dated an A-lister who helped her career, probably got her into parties, who spent money on her. And all of a sudden now she's a victim when he's having a child with another woman. And what's sad is this happened 2 days ago. She's now continuing to release information. The whole transcript is here. The whole transcript that apparently they had conversations between one another. She's decided to make this public. And really, there's nothing toxic in any of it. The worst thing he says is that I've moved on, that I'm dating a new girl. And she's trying to make it seem like he was sexting her after the fact when the timeline doesn't match up. So again, all of this is manufactured in her head. She needs to be a victim. And again, it's sad because there are real victims in the world and she is taken away from them. She's doing this for attention. We live in a society where your entire value structure is this and how many followers you have on TikTok, which is why you see people doing the dumbest stuff in the world on these platforms. You see people literally killing themselves with like Tide Pod challenges. So, yeah, Jonah Hill. Can't say I'm mad that it's him. Can't say that that's, but it is annoying because if women out there are wondering why guys are no longer dating and no longer putting in the effort and are distancing themselves, here you go. When we see a story like this, we say it's not worth it because we could literally do nothing right by this standard. There is nothing we can do. Congratulations. You've destroyed any future relationship you may have because every guy is scared to even talk to you now. So that's where we're at. Listen, I hope you like this podcast. You know what I mean? I really want this to take off. So please like and subscribe. Leave some comments below. Share it with your friends. I don't know what else to say. That's all I got. Thank you very much for watching.